Jake here. A tomb raider is betrayed by his boss, but a crow-shaped relic sends him back in time, giving him a second chance to get revenge. It's like solo leveling, but with the classic time travel twist of going back to fix your past and change your fate. But it's cool, so let's start the video. The anime begins deep inside a dungeon strewn with corpses, where a man is fighting against a gigantic snake. He slashes at the serpent with his sword, but barely scratches it, forcing him to dodge its attacks before going all in, only for the snake to smash him into a wall with its tail and then lunge to devour him. He narrowly escapes, leaping at the beast and channeling his energy into his blade to pierce its skull, but the sword shatters in the process. Still alive, the serpent clamps down on one of his legs, and though his sword is broken, he keeps stabbing at its eye relentlessly. The creature then traps both his legs and starts smashing him against everything around them. As he begins to black out, he asks himself how Quan Tai-jun could have done this to him, and a flashback reveals the leader of an organization ordering him to complete his mission properly in exchange for a generous reward, though his smile is unsettling. Back in the present, we learn our protagonist is Seo Juhyun, age 38, who realizes he's about to die, but just before the serpent swallows him, a mysterious voice booms inside his head, and time itself seems to freeze. The voice asks if he can hear it. Confused, Juhyun replies that he's always been able to hear relics, though he doesn't know which god this one belongs to. Still, if it's really there, he begs it to destroy the snake and get him out. The voice only laughs and asks if he honestly believes he'll survive in that body, and Juhyun realizes he no longer has legs. Even if the voice kills the serpent, he won't be able to walk away. It tells him he was saved by pure chance, doubts he'll last much longer, warns him of a miserable end, and laments that someone with his talent was born in the wrong era, unable to use the tricks he has up his sleeve. Juhyun snaps back that the voice is just talking without knowing anything about him. He never wanted to live like this either, and swears he'll do whatever it takes to kill Quan Tai-jun. With that vow, the top of the tower lights up, and the voice replies that killing him would be a waste of his talent. Light floods the area, and a crow wreathed in a golden aura appears before Juhyun, telling him it will give him a chance to climb to the true throne if he's capable, then channels its power into him, restoring his body and filling him with overwhelming energy. He finds himself sitting and wondering whether that crow was a hero-class relic or a divine one, though he doubts it, before realizing his legs have regenerated and he's no longer in the dungeon. He's in a police station, and he wonders what on earth he's doing there. His thoughts are interrupted by an old woman beside him insisting the man is crazy and that he should be the one interrogated. The officer reminds them they're in an interrogation and asks for his name, but Juhyun, still stunned, struggles to compose himself. The officer grumbles about the suspect's lack of cooperation, calling it a sad way to start the year 2025, and hearing this, Juhyun is floored, because 2025 was 15 years ago, meaning he's traveled back in time. Remembering the crow's promise of a chance at the true throne, he starts to smile, prompting the old woman to snap at him to answer the questions instead of laughing and muttering. Looking at her more closely, he recognizes her, and recalls shoving the punk sitting next to him after the kid tried to bother him, sending him sprawling as if he'd been waiting for the moment. The woman tells him he hit her son, who's barely in high school. He tries to figure out how to handle it, remembering that 15 years ago, they demanded an outrageous settlement, forcing him to beg on his knees to get it reduced since he had no money at the time. Lost in thought, the woman loses patience and tries to slap him, but he catches her hand and tells her to knock it off since it was her son who started it, adding that they're asking for way too much money and that rich people truly are the worst. The kid feigns outrage and attacks Juhyun, who neutralizes him with ease, slamming him to the ground. Stunned at how light and fast he feels, Juhyun guesses it's because he doesn't yet have the relic sickness and has retained the combat skills he honed over 15 years. He gets excited thinking he can get rich off this, then catches himself remembering what he's just done, as the kid warns him he'll regret it. In the next scene, Juhyun is thrown into a holding cell while the old woman continues arguing outside and the officers ask her to calm down. He wonders what she's even going on about, since none of it matters. Once the relics appear, chaos will reign. He recalls that in 2025 earthquake struck all over the world and tombs emerge from the ground, containing relics pulled from myths, legends, fables, and literature. Ancient stories carry real power, and those who possess relics gain different abilities, so everyone rushed to find them. He himself unearthed the archaeologist relic and hit the jackpot, gaining information about tombs and relics, and said goodbye to his miserable old life. But soldiers blocked the excavation site because the company TKBM held the excavation rights. The archaeologists refused to accept it, but seeing that the soldiers wouldn't hesitate to kill them, they backed down. That was when everything changed. TKBM's president, Quan Tai-jun, along with other relic holders, banned everyone else from excavating new relics. Luckily, Juhian's talent as an archaeologist got him recruited, and he ended up taking on every kind of dirty job: smuggling, theft, espionage, tomb raiding, infiltrating tombs the government had sealed off, and stealing the relics inside, which is how Quan Taijun built his fortune. Juhian became despised by the other excavators for essentially being Quan's lackey, but he wasn't doing it for pleasure. He endured every kind of humiliation for a purpose, only to be betrayed and set up. Back in his cell, he reflects that the relics will surface again soon and the world will fall into chaos. And although he's stronger now, that alone won't be enough. He needs capital to excavate and wonders how to get it. Suddenly, a notification pops up in front of him titled Tomb Raider CO Juhian, and he wonders if he's losing his mind and hallucinating, before realizing only relics can produce something this strange, and starts yelling at the crow to show itself, asking if it's been secretly watching him. Another pop-up informs him that his basic archaeologist skills are at 1 of 4, and that he currently has the probe skill at rank F, which irritates him enough to tell the crow that his life isn't a game. But then yet another window appears with a new quest: activate all 4 basic archaeologist skills. He complains about now having quest 2 until the guard tells him to keep quiet. Wondering if he's the only one who can see these windows, he decides to test the skill and discovers he can see perfectly within a 1-meter radius. The power of the archaeologist relic, which he still retains even without owning it. He wonders what the crow could be scheming, since relics gain nothing from making humans happy. But his thoughts are cut off by Jianwu, who turns out to be his lawyer. Leaving the police station, Jianwu tells him he had bad luck, that the kid is a repeat offender who should be the one behind bars, and tells Juhian to relax since he'll take care of everything. Juhian thanks him, catching Jianwu off guard, who jokingly asks if he's turned into a normal person now. As Jianwu laughs, Juhian reflects that this man is Inspector Kim Jianwu, who raised him since he has no family of his own. On the way home, Juhian asks if there have been any strange cases lately. Monster possession, superpowers, that sort of thing, worrying Jianwu, who asks if he's really okay. But speaking of superpowers, Jianwu muses that his own wife might have some, since she always manages to find the money he tries to hide from her. Juhian just smiles, figuring there likely aren't any relic users yet, though he knows the tombs have already appeared without anyone claiming them, giving him the perfect head start. The problem is he has no money, and the first tombs appeared in Europe and America. His thoughts are interrupted by a group of people who seem to recognize him, asking why he isn't at work, but Juhian only smiles, having just found his source of funding. Among the thugs is Park Kyung-8, a former mobster-turned-art dealer who runs a gallery with his sister, Kyungju. Juhian recalls that back in high school he needed money and worked for them, even though they paid him next to nothing and regularly beat him. One of the thugs steps up and demands to know why he isn't answering, threatening to beat it out of him, but instead it's Juhian who delivers the beating. The others are stunned as he announces that as of today, he's quitting and wants his severance prepared. Park Kyung-8 just laughs and tells him it's time to settle the score, though in the end the score favors Juhian, who beats Park soundly. When the rest of the thugs see their boss get beaten, they all charge at once, but Juhian takes them all down. As they panic, he smiles, knowing this is the payoff of 15 years of training, though he also realizes he still lacks raw strength and needs to finish this quickly. Furious, Park decides to punish him properly, but his subordinate warns him against drawing that sword, since it could cause serious trouble. Park tells him to shut up, and Juhian, catching sight of the blade, wonders what Park is doing with a relic, though he figures he shouldn't overthink it, since relics do exist among ordinary people outside the tombs. Park lunges at him, and Juhian smiles, recognizing the perfect opportunity to claim his very first relic.